got some problems that you wanna solve? Then let's chat. That job getting on your nerves? Then let's chat. Girl, you know I can relate, so let's chat. Cause I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. What the bottom line is. What the bottom line is.
It's your girl Cece. I'm your hostess with the mostest.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Cece, the hostess with the mostest, and we are back. We have an amazing episode, and the theme that I've been having for this season is to allow grace for yourself, right? And we talked about many forms of how you can allow grace for yourself. And today we're going to talk about one that really hits home is how being strong is killing us. And I think we can all snap, clank, whatever on clock that it. One. Yes, clock it, whatever, get it in, because that's just, something that as a Black woman or any woman at all, we're just taught that we have to be that strong one. We can't really show who we are. We have to stay firm and, on the outside, even though it might be killing us inside. So we're going to dig into that. And if you can resonate with that, make sure that you tell us your story in the comments and we'll be sure to address it, of course. So today's guest is Kendall Lanice. Yes. So, and you may have seen her everywhere. I know I have seen her, and I am so excited to have her here with us. And she wears a lot of hats, and I'm going to let her give a full intro of herself before we get into this, because we're going to see how strong she is today. So
all right,
tell us about you.
All right now. So again, like Cece said, I am Kendall Lanice. I go by the Remix Coach. And I said, when Cece said, you're going to interview yourself, and there's a lot of things that I can say, but it's always weird. Like, let me tell you what I did. Right. It's always weird. So I tried to sum it up, and I'm going to read exactly what I wrote.
Okay.
I told you, I'm Kendall Lanice. I go by the Remix Coach. I help people remix their lives and relationships through coaching, speaking, and media. With over 25 years of experience, I empower others to heal, grow, and transform, because my saying is it's never too late to remix your life at any stage, age, or phase. So that's just a little sum. You get the whole gist after we talk, and
yes,
we'll talk about social medias and websites and stuff later so you can read more. But that's really what I do. Everything that I do, we talked about me doing so much, but everything I do, it still surrounds that.
Yes, it really still has the common goal in that. And I love that. That's something that I've kind of honed in on the pageant too. My platform was caregiver advocacy. So all the events and things that I do surround that type of platform. So let's talk about your tagline, Remix Coach, because when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I got to learn more. I started digging and doing my research, y'all. So tell us, how did you get that tagline? Like, where did that come from?
It's so funny because I was trying to think, because I've been doing this for so long, and I was trying to think, like, when did I start? Because I first, how they say, I'm not only a client, I'm not only the president, I'm a client too, right?
Yes.
So I've had to remix my life a million times over. And I would always talk about the Remix Coach because the people that know me back in the day, they know me as Lady Motivator.
Ooh.
So that's what I was for years, right? But because they started calling me the Remix Coach, and we started calling me that because I would always talk about remixing your life and teaching people how to remix their lives. And as a life coach of that many years, people are remixing their lives in career, relationship, family relationships, romantic relationships. Every aspect of life, you have to remix your life. You have to do things differently. Sometimes remixing your life is a matter of life and death. Yeah. Like, you have to be able to, you can't keep going like this. Knocking your head up against the wall, and you have to be able to do things differently and not be afraid to do that. So no matter what your background is or where you're from or what you've gone through, you can always reverse it and remix it. So I've been talking about that for years. So then one day I was speaking at an event and I was like, it's never too late to remix your life. And then that was it for years. And then one event I said, it's never too late to remix your life at any age, stage, or phase.
Ooh.
So no matter where so then that kind of was the subtitle of that. But I don't even remember when it started. It's been so many years that I've said that, because I've had to remix my life. So if as a life coach, I'm not a life coach where I'm like, well, then you need to do this or you need to do that. First, I don't tell anybody what to do. I assist them in what they want to do and help them in that positive way, or that way that they need it, whatever way that
helping them get to that solution.
Exactly. It's it's an accountability partner, a cheerleader, everything, a truth teller. You know what I mean? You talk about caregiving, but I help people heal. You know, and a lot of things are stemmed from that. Even my book, I have a book, Your Unhealed is Showing. So really helping people heal, because that's really, girl, that's really the branch of a lot of things that are happening, is really healing. And a lot of it starts with childhood healing.
Yeah. And we actually talked a little bit about trauma on season 1 and season 2, and how that shows up. Now it's like you think that it's suppressed, but then certain things that we do as we grow up, and how that actually shows, if we haven't really dealt with it, it comes out.
And it's like, oh, is showing.
Yep, that's right. And it forces you to have to deal with it, and you know, in more ways than one. But I love the tagline of Remix Coach, because when I saw that, it's like like you said, we all do it, but I don't think anybody ever put a word to realize that's what we do. Every time there's a situation, like, you know, they say God laughs when you tell him your plans. So I thought of that too, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go plan A, and then it's like, nope. And we always say, oh, Queen's pivot in the pageant world, and essentially that's what you have to do. Just like, you know, I thought I was going to do X, Y, Z, and when I became a caregiver, remix. Now I have to adjust my whole life, and if things don't work, we always think so negative when it doesn't work in our favor, or it doesn't go the way we planned, but maybe there's a reason that it didn't work out. And I know that ties into what we're talking about, and being the strong one. Because I think when you are the strong one, I feel like when things don't go your way, it's more of a letdown that you experience. And I'll be the first to say that one of my weaknesses is dealing with rejection.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it felt, because I feel like I worked so hard to be that good person, not for acknowledgments or anything like that, but just because that's just the way that I am. And so when things don't happen, I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? How can I do, you know, the 21 question game and things like that. And sometimes it might not
is real.
Yeah, it may not be anything that I did. Yeah, it just may have not have been God's timing, or whatever the case is. So we're gonna explore that more. So so let's get into it with the Remix Coach, because I'm loving this.
And I will say this. So think about one of your songs, right? It's the jam. You love it. That's your song. Let me think of something. All right, you know Jagged Edge, Let's Get Married. Yeah. Okay, so the first song, if you hear that song, you're like, this is a good song. You're singing it, Let's Get Married. But when that remix came, so you think you like something, or this is how it's supposed to be. Right. But then when you remix it, that thing amped it up. It changed it. It gave new air, new breath. It made you feel something different. And that's what it is with remixing your life. Like, it could be okay. Right. But it can always be better. Whatever the situation is. So think about that song. So we do like this life. We did like the original song, but now we had to remix it to get more, let's just say, ears on it, right? To get more feeling out of it, to get more whatever it is that you needed to breathe that fresh air in it. So now you love that. People don't even remember hardly the non-remix version of that song. That's true. It's slow, but people think about when Red Run came out and everybody's like, yeah, let's get married. You know what I mean? Yes. So think about that, you know, so we can we still remember the old, right? We still appreciate it, but now it's something remix that we had to do for our lives. And sometimes it's to save the life, or to save the song, or recreate something. And it's still us. It's still a part of us. It doesn't mean something was wrong with the other one, but we had to breathe new life into us. Just
I
like
love
that.
that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. So when did you realize that being the strong one wasn't sustainable?
Whew. Gosh, woo.
Put your answer in the comments.
Right. Oh my God. When you just can't do it no more and you're sick and tired, you just tired, like I can't do it. Like that strong Black woman cape, as we were talking about, it needs to be retired, because it does us as Black women a disservice when we're like, I'm the strong Black woman. We've seen it a million times when you're talking about people, childbirth, right? Or in the hospital. Serena Williams and Beyonce, with all their fame and money, can still be not listened to when they're having a baby in the hospital. Like, oh, their pain is not what they're saying, because we have created this strong Black woman. Where if it's another person, another race, another woman, they're like, oh, well, let's go to her. She's hurt. She's in pain. But somehow they think we can carry everything on our backs. And all the time that we do that, it's not because we want to. Right. It's because most of the time we have to do it. There's nobody else to do it, right? So it's not that we want to do all of these things. But like we were talking about earlier, sometimes we have to do it. Yeah. So when it's not enough, when it's hurting you, or you're feeling ill, or you're not feeling the best version of yourself, or you're finding yourself crying at night, going to sleep, or trying to figure it out, having headaches or whatever, your body will keep the score and tell you what is going on. Yes, and that's a sign where you're like, I can't do this no more. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say yes to everything. I'm not going to just be like, okay, I'm going to go. And I talked about this on my podcast. I have Grown Woman Energy. I literally talked about that. So if somebody's watching and they know, exactly what I'm going to say. But you can't in 24 hours help this person move, go to the baby shower, go to the wedding, go to the cookout, do the things you need to do, prepare for work. You can't do it all.
You have to put some boundaries
We have to put some boundaries up. And sometimes we just say yes and yes and yes, and because we want to be there for everybody except ourselves. So we have to say no. So it was on a point where I could feel it.
Right.
And like, I'm not doing that no more. No is a full statement, and that's what I'm going to stand on. I don't have to give anybody a reason when I say no. It could just be no. But I was used to giving, well, I know because, and then feeling bad and trying to do it and sacrifices maybe some things I want to do, even if it's rest, even if it's nothing. Yeah. Right? Because we don't have a lot of space and time where we're doing nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then you feel guilty. Then you call, oh, it's because I got to do this. I got to take my car. We don't need that. And the older that I get, and you'll see, you start getting into different phases. We talked about you going into a next decade, next year, and all of that. It's like, no. Mm-mm. And that's all. Right. No.
Yeah, I struggle with trying to get to that point. But as you said, that strong Black woman tagline has been going on for many, many moons. And, enough is enough, because we need somebody that's going to take care of us.
Yeah.
And we can't be there for everybody, even though I know one of my taglines is, oh, I got to do what I got to do. Yeah. I say that all the time. But I mean, it's a true statement, but at the same time, I'm learning as time goes on to prioritize my health and my needs, because it's no longer going to be sustainable. And if I break down, who's going to take care of me?
Right.
That strong Black woman not going to get me up out that hospital bed if something happens, because the stress of life, it really affects you. And most people don't realize that till they go through that.
Yes.
And I know when COVID happened and the world stopped, that's when my body said, oh, it's my time to catch up with you. Let me show you who you really are.
Right.
So your body will tell you, believe
that
me.
Part.
So, but even with that, with this all going on for so many ages, we wear the strong Black woman title like a badge of honor. And I just don't, again, yes, I know it started from earlier on because we had to, but I don't know if I want to say, well, how do we get rid of it? Because that's not, I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but where did that come from? How can we get through that?
We got to be able to talk about it with conversations like this. We got to be able to really tell the people why right? And show why.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really does us a disservice, because when we need help, we're not asking for help. We're like, well, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can mow the lawn, I can do the dishes, I can fix the vase, I can put the picture up, I can go to the grocery. We're doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a reason. I guess for me, sometimes I'll say, because I don't want to bother anybody else, so I feel like I'm imposing on someone else by asking for help. But at the same time, like you said, we have to delegate. And that's something that we struggle with. And most of the time when people hear the phrase delegate, they think about, delegating on the job. But we have to delegate in our personal life, whether it's in our marriage. You know, women, we're working all day. We're feeding the kids. We're giving them baths. We're putting them to bed. Well, it got to be some shared responsibilities in here. We can't. Because when do you have time to woosah and take care of yourself?
Yeah.
So.
And I'm watching that Ashanti and Nelly. Did you see that?
I watched the first episode so far. I'm waiting for some more episodes so I can binge watch.
Yeah, they're all on now, so you can do that.
Okay.
But that was a thing on that show. Yeah. Like, she's just having a baby for the first time, and he's saying, "I'm not going to do anything when the baby is a baby. I'm not going to do anything." And then Michelle Obama's podcast, she said, "Oh, Barack changed diapers. He didn't wait to say." Everybody's like, "Oh, did she say something about Nelly?" But saying that you need that. Yeah. She was like, he took the night shift and I took the day shift. But when I was watching the We Belong Together with Nelly and Ashanti, I don't think he meant harm or meant wrong. Right. He's just saying, as a baby, I don't know what to do. When they start walking and talking, I got them all the time. Like, you're not going to have to worry. So I understood what he was trying to say. But at the same time, if you got a new mother for the first time, she's never been a mother. He has older children. She's like, I need help, right? But then what happens when you don't have somebody? Well, you got a nanny, you got this. But if you need help from a certain person, like, you really can't laugh it off. You really can't. And that's the thing we do. If we feel that they're not going to, or whoever is not going to help us, then we'll be like, hey, it's okay, we'll do it, and we'll laugh it off instead of saying, listen, seriously, time out. I need help. That's so difficult for some people to say. I know motivational speaker Les Brown says we ask for help not because we're weak, but because we want to remain strong.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because if we continue on that path, all we're doing is breaking ourselves down yet again, and then we won't be good to anyone for sure. So, which actually it leads into the next question: what are some of the hidden costs of always being the dependable one, emotionally, physically, or spiritually?
What are the hidden costs? Our peace, our happiness, our learning how to love ourselves and betraying ourselves is the cost. That's been a cost to me before, that self-betrayal, because you are really trying to say yes and to try to give others what they want, whether it's in a relationship, family, whatever, right? And then you're betraying yourself because you're not living how you really want to live, or doing the things that you really want to do because you're worried about fulfilling whatever someone else's need is.
It's almost like being that people pleaser.
Yeah.
And I would also add to that, like what we were discussing earlier, it's a sacrifice. A sacrifice of, like you said, your happiness. You mentioned your peace as well, because yes, we all have our own plans of what we want to do and how we want to, go about doing things. But again, things may happen, life may change. You may have to remix it, and we have to
come on now, Sierra.
and we have to really, be, pivot with that. And it's not easy, but I mean, I think that's the time that we're in right now, especially the way the world is too. There's a lot of people that have had to remix and change and understand that, and I think it's broken a lot of people down, I would say, emotionally, because where you thought you had security, let's say in a job, you no longer have that like we did maybe 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do we navigate that? And I think that's also a part of trying to break down being that strong woman, because yes, again, we wear many hats. However, we need someone to wear that hat for us.
No, that's real. And that's one of my favorite words is pivot, because everybody can do it.
Right.
Everybody can't do it because so many people want it the same way. Y'all know I'm talking to you right now. Like somebody can't do it. They're like, how do you do that? When this was supposed to be this, this, and this. This was supposed to work out this, this, and this way. And people are frazzled and they fall apart when it doesn't work how they think it should work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's
they don't know how to pivot. If you said, come to do this podcast, the bottom line is, right, do this podcast, right? Today we're going to do it this way. We're going to be in the studio. This is how we're going to do it. It's going to be visual. They're going to see us. We're going to see you. And then I came. Something's wrong with your camera. Okay, so it's just going to be audio. Well, what do you mean? I put on my outfit. People don't know how to do that.
Yeah, people
It's
don't
like
know
they
what's
want
changed.
what they want. Yes, and it's so difficult for people to adjust and to pivot when they have in their mind, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I just, for some, I just don't understand how we can begin to, I guess, tackle that and untangle that web that we got in. I mean, what would you say to a person that, that fears not doing what we're talking about, like not being that strong person? They look at that as being weak.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that as weak.
Me
Just because
either.
you're not saying yes to somebody, that doesn't make you weak.
Yeah. I don't see that either, but that's exactly what I would tell them. It doesn't make you weak to be able to say no or to ask for help. It actually is the reverse.
Right.
It makes you strong. It makes you weak to not feel that you need help.
Right.
That's the weak part. And I think people got it twisted. They think it's supposed to be a certain way. You know what I mean? Oh, if I do this, I do that. But no, a smart person always asks for help. A smart person delegates. And this is something that you can learn to do. This is not something, even if you don't know how to do it right now, this is something that can still be learned.
Yeah.
And it makes you strong to say, you know what, I can't do it all, or I need a moment, or let me call for help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to just untrain ourselves into that way of thinking. And I think, we talk a lot, some of the episodes I've had this season about, from a culture standpoint, if we see how our moms, our grandparents, how they had to be that matriarch of the family. They are that strong Black woman, for instance. And we see that and we're like, well, if they did it, then I have to be that way. And that you can still be
weakest link.
Yeah, but it's like you can still do it, but these are different times. You can do things a different way.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to understand. You don't have to do it that way. You can make it your own way by including others around you and making people have that responsibility, because as when we have kids, that's going to teach them as well. So we have to end the cycle somewhere, right?
Yes.
So I think that's just important to mention, because I know that
it's
a lot of people feel that way.
I will tell you this. So I worked for a nonprofit for 13 years. I did my own little department. I was running that, doing everything in that department, right? Even had, well, that's not necessary, but I did everything.
Yeah.
And then some. This was the job description. This was everything I did, put them together. So it was a lot, right? And I loved it. I loved the people. I loved my clients. And don't you know, I've worked there all those years, never called out sick one time.
Wow.
And some people may look and say, oh, that's a flex. That's good. No, it was a disservice.
Yeah.
Because and I don't get sick often, but even if I had a little cough, knock on right. Thank you, Lord. But not, you know what I'm saying? I didn't take the time to say, you know what, I'm not feeling well, or you know what, let me have a mental health day, right? Let me not come, right? So when it was time to, during, everybody was losing funding, and I was there all of those years, I didn't get a big notification on when to stop, and I had my position was no longer, right? Got fired, not because of any wrongdoing, because nonprofit budget cuts, right? I had to go. And I sat there and I was like, so many hours. You know what I mean?
That you gave
and, they gave me gifts and they were sad and that I was leaving. I was sad. I had all these mixed emotions and feelings, and the owner was crying like she did, so it wasn't like you're fired because you did. I still had to go. And I'm saying all that to say, where'd all my time go? I gave my whole self to a place, And I showed my children, my 2 daughters, that this is the way you're supposed to do it. I had to apologize to them. I did a disservice. You're supposed to go to work every day. Now, I'm not saying be irresponsible,
Right.
but you still have to take, if you're not good, no matter what you're feeling or going through, then you're not going to show that in your work.
Yeah.
Everybody has burnout. Everybody needs a break. And if your job gives you time, take the time. So I showed my kids without teaching them that you just keep working.
Right.
If you're not feeling well mentally, spiritually, physically, you still go to work, you still do it. I used to say, I never called out. And my owner would say, no, she didn't. Like it was a great thing.
Right.
It
really
wasn't
a flex. Yeah.
It was not a flex. And I showed my daughters that.
Yeah.
My one youngest daughter, she just wants work. She's a teacher.
Yeah.
She wants to work. Even other teachers like, you need to take a day off.
Yeah,
and I tell her, so that's my whole thing. It's like you can still be a valuable employee. You in HR, you can still be a valuable employee, but we have those days for a reason. Right? Because you're not going to get the fullness of the person. You have to recharge.
Yep.
And it took me at a big age to really understand that and learn that.
Better late than never. And that's what I always say too. You can't pour from an empty cup. It's one of my sayings. And I see that in HR all the time where people will have these humongous PTO balances because they're like, I never take time off. And it's like, well, you just basically going to just lose it every year.
My boss used to have to sit down and talk to me like I was her child. Yeah. You need to take your days off.
Yep.
That's how she used to talk to me. Like, why should somebody have to do that?
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I no longer. Now I'm not no longer. I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna take if it's my time, I'm gonna take it because you need to recharge. And this is somebody that's in HR.
That's right. We're telling you, we want you to take the time. We
right.
don't like taking
but
the
that's
time.
how people go postal and all kind of stuff.
Yes,
that
mental health.
That mental health is serious.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to work anywhere that's not going to allow me to have a moment for my mental health. I'm sorry.
For sure. And mental health right now is, well, for many years lately, it's been a big topic when it used to be, a taboo type of topic. And, this correlates too with the topic that, again, you have to take a mental break. Like some people are like, oh, I'll go on vacation, I'll do this, I'll do that. But we can't just wait for a vacation because some people may only get one vacation a month where they can kind of get away. For me, every Sunday, I like to sit right on the sofa. Okay, if you know me, I say it all the time, but that is my mental break. I want to have a moment where I'm just binge watching whatever.
Oh, you got to watch the show.
Yes. That's right.
You got to watch it. Let me know what you think.
I will. Where I'm like not thinking.
Yeah.
And it's just my time, and I just want to give my mind a break. And it's, my mind, body, and soul. That's a real thing. Like, yes, we can do a massage and, get our body relaxed, but that's really only temporary. Our mind has to, relax so it can go with everything. Everything funnels through the brain and the heart. So we have to take care of those things. And I wanted to also hit on the word that comes to mind so far too, as we're talking, is vulnerability.
That's a good
It's so hard for us in so many aspects of life to be vulnerable. And I would say, I guess taboo is my word today, but that's also a taboo word.
Being vulnerable. Taboos.
Yes, but I mean, it is hard. I know I'm guilty of being vulnerable to people. I have to really build up that trust to be able to let my guard down. And I think that also comes with having the walls up of being that strong person.
Yeah.
And you won't see me back down off of that strong until I feel comfortable. Then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. They want me out. Like, I need something, But again, like what would you say if someone says, I don't know how to be vulnerable?
Then you're never going to have meaningful relationships. Okay. And that's friendships and that's partnerships, romantic. You're not going to have any type of, you're always going to be swimming in the shallow end. Yeah. You're never going to have anything deep, because to connect, like genuinely connect to another person, there has to be a level of vulnerability. You're always going to just be right here.
Right.
It's going to be that way. So if you want, and if that's okay, because it could be okay for you, it could be
Right.
okay for you if that's what you want. Because some people don't want to be vulnerable because it risks them being hurt or rejected.
Right.
In some type of way. So some people just keep their arm's length.
Yeah.
And that's okay if that's what you want.
Right.
But if you want something deeper and you want to free yourself, and someone, when they say that they like you or genuinely love you, you know it's coming from an honest place.
Right.
Because if you're holding pieces of it and someone says, I love you, how can they?
Yeah.
It's not really real.
That's true.
Because they're only seeing what you're allowing them to see.
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, we definitely, I think, like you said earlier, we wear a cape, we wear a mask, instead of like talking about our true selves. I was thinking of, I guess this would be an analogy. When you were just describing that, I thought of when I go swimming in the water, when I go snorkeling. Can't swim. Okay?
Come on,
but
snorkel.
I love snorkeling.
Come on, snorkel.
I guess I was a mermaid in my other life. But, when you're going out there, you have the life vest on. And even if you've snorkeled or you've been in the ocean before with the life vest, you're still tossing and turning with the waves of the ocean. And I think about the waves are the events of life coming at you. And it's not until you learn to relax and control your breathing that you're, it's like smooth sailing, I guess, in the water. And because you're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Like, oh, nothing is under my feet or whatever. Right. But then it's when you just like, everything just settles.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not working against the life vest. You're not working against what is coming at you.
Yeah.
You're allowing it to come to you and you're dealing with what comes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That just popped in my head.
That's real.
That analogy, metaphor, whatever.
No, that's real. But that's real. So when you calm down, and really focus on your breathing, because you can drown that way.
Yeah. I mean,
and like drown in life,
fish in the water. Yeah, and we don't need anybody out here drowning. So, but that's a real thing too. So, well, what kind of support system should a strong woman be building around herself?
Not yes people, not yes people. You got to have somebody that's in your corner, in your tribe, your village. Has to be someone that cares for you, right, and shows it by allowing you to be honest and them being honest with you, and to be able to say no, and they still love you and still care for you. And to really, I'm a firm believer of you need people that's going to pray for you. Yeah. You need covenant people around you. So that's the kind of village, whether you want to heal, whether you want to grow or soar, you're going to need that type of, you don't need dream killers and negative energy around you. You need that type of, and some people hold on to people just because they hold on to people because it's been a number of years in certain, and the quantity and not the quality of people.
It's that part. And I did an episode on like friendship breakups, and we talked about that because so many of us will say, oh, well, I've known that person since elementary school. And, and then some people, you always see it at the beginning of the year. Everybody will post on Facebook, oh, going through my friend list. So if you see me disappear, that means you're no longer a list of however they want to say it. But I mean, I think of it this way, like you're cleaning up the closet. We're all growing and moving into different stages. No, we don't know in advance what that may be and how we'll change. But sometimes the people in your circle might not be, they might, this is a Tyler Perry saying, they may only be in your life for a
season or lifetime.
Yep. And I think some of us refuse to accept that because of the quantity.
Yeah.
And don't look at the quality. Well, what is that person bringing into my life? Whether it's a friendship or relationship, if that person isn't adding value to your life, then what are they doing for?
Are they withdrawing or are they depositing? And I quote this often, my people will know the movie Love Jones, when he's like, we've been together all these years, and she said, all we had was all these years, and it's just not enough for me anymore, because people total and tally up the years and not the quality of the relationships. Everybody ain't going with you. Everybody can't go with you. Everybody is not meant to go with you. Everybody's not purposed to go with you. And I think we want to hold on to so many people because we don't want to look a certain way. We don't want to leave somebody behind.
Right.
And sometimes it's like somebody pulling us down literally.
Right.
Literally. And some blessings are not going to be bestowed upon us because of the
Blocking
people
the
we
blessing.
have around us.
Yeah. And you hit on something too. Just, again, we keep forcing those people to be in our circle and trying to help them at the detriment of ourselves.
Yep.
And that's also taking us down.
Yep.
You might not realize it, but it's taking you down.
Yep.
And if you just have one good friend that has your
Yep.
back and, like you said, and it's going to tell you like it is, then you're doing something
You're
good.
doing something good.
Some of us are blessed to have more than one, and that's great for them. It's no quantity on that as long as they are providing the quality.
That's right.
For sure. So if someone says, hey, I want to make this change, I'm tired of being that person, that strong woman, that one that everybody comes to, what is 3 things that you would say to that person that they could do or try to change, let's say within a week or something like that?
I would say stop.
Okay.
I would say take care of yourself. And I would say if they were meant to be here, if they're meant to be here after you say stop and you take care of yourself, then they're meant to stay. But I think most people are afraid to do either of those because of fear of losing people, or people thinking they're different, or people thinking they're more evolved, or whatever it is.
Right.
But you first, with anything, you make the choice and decision to say, you know what, I can't, or I'm not. And just to worry about yourself. And I think the worry about yourself is the take care of yourself. Just stop for a minute to really reevaluate and think. And then, and then gauge. I guess I would say that third one would be gauge, to see who is there, who's around, and who is supportive. But it's difficult for people to move. So the first one, without the 1, 2, 3, but that main thing is just really making a choice to be able to do that.
Right. Seeing who's there after the fire settles, the dust settles, or however you want to say it. Whoever's left there, then it's a purpose for them to be in your life for that particular season.
100%.
So for sure. Yeah. Now, as we go ahead and prepare to close, is there anything else? We're going to get to the social media and everything, but is there anything else that you want to share in regards to this topic with our viewers?
About being the strong person, or the strong woman, or the caregiver, or the one that is there for everyone else. I mean, you talked about it. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can pour from it. Now, what they're going to get is something totally different, right?
That's true.
You want them to get your overflow. You don't want them to get the bottom, because some people get in the bottom of that cup.
Right.
They come at you wrong. They get in the bottom of that cup.
Yeah,
because
that's very raw.
That's very raw, right? So you might get some from that empty cup,
right,
but it may not be what you want to get, right? You know what I mean? So I would just tell people to really consider themselves, especially women. Men too, consider yourself first. It is not selfish to think of yourself first. Society and people who want something from you are going to make you think that it's something wrong with that. So I would just say, put the capes down and to really think about yourself and your mental health and your health overall, because hypertension, stressing you out with hypertension, diabetes, even cancer, a lot of different issues because of the stress in our body. So when they say stress kills, it's not just a cliche. It really is serious, right? So I would just say, you know what, pause for a moment, even when you don't know what to do. Pause and pray for a moment, but consider yourself just like you would consider someone else. And I got to be there for that person. They need me. You need you, because you're no good to anyone if you're not good to you. And people will see. You show people how to treat you. So if they say, you know what, I'm taking a moment, because if somebody calls you and say, what you doing? If you say nothing, they think that they can dump on you. They think that you can go where you want them to go, and you open the gate. I'm doing nothing because that's my choice and decision to do nothing. So I'm good. Oh, but you said you're not doing it. Yes, that's my choice. And you really have to be bold to put yourself first. They may not like it in that moment, but they'll respect you later, and hopefully they'll learn from you.
For sure. So I enjoyed this conversation, and it was a open, honest conversation for sure. So they want to, our viewers, if they want to learn more about you and how to remix their lives and just kind of dig into a little bit deeper perhaps with this topic,
Yes.
how can they reach you?
You can reach me on all social media platforms at Kendellenice, KendelleLenice. You'll see it right here. And also Kendellenice.com. And on TikTok, I'm the Remix Coach.
Gotta love it. So make sure you all follow her.
And my YouTube channel, please follow that.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe.
Yes. And all that information will also be in the comments below. And, I'll leave you all with the bottom line is, and I think Kendall said it, best in her rap. I was like, oh, all you needed to do was add the tagline there. Like, so, but I mean, we talked about a lot today, but at the end of the day, and the bottom line is, you can't feel like you are being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have, take that cape off. We have to be vulnerable, and we're not saying that you have to do this tomorrow, because it took a lot for you to become that strong woman. So it's going to take a lot for you to start, taking off and removing those layers. So just keep that in mind, that it's not an overnight process, and you may need help to do that. So reach out and start evaluating the people that are around you and what you are really wanting to accomplish in life. And sometimes you may have to reach out to external sources, whether it be a therapist or whomever, or spiritual guidance, or whatever you choose to use to help you with that process. So, and we're here certainly if you have any questions. We're definitely going to have her on again, so make sure that you put everything down here in the comment section. Like it, share it, because we love it, because you like it. And we will see you next time on another episode of The Bottom Line Is.